Hey everyone, it's that nerd Ryan here. So I know that a few weeks ago I told you guys that I was going to be making some other sort of video, but I was starting to think throughout the week that I feel like this would give a few weeks worth of content and kind of be kind of fun to do, of just giving my opinion on every region for the Pokemon games. So why not start with the original? This week we'll be talking about the Kanto region. Now I apologize that I've been using the same old Pikachu meme picture recently for the past few videos that are done like this, but as I lead into my first point of the Kanto region, what my favorite starter is. Now, I will admit that I haven't recently played through all the Gen 1 games and Kanto games. I haven't even been able to beat Leaf Green or Fire Red yet, so we won't even be talking about the Sevi Islands on here. But I will say I had my most enjoyable experience so far with Let's Go Pikachu, and that was mainly due to my starter that I, of course, if you watched my other videos, named Mickey. She was so helpful throughout the whole game and was just a joy to play around with. I spent hours actually just in the pet module, just feeding her and petting her. So I just wanted to start that off because that is the first thing that you get in Kanto is your starter. So after getting our starter, we get to start looking at the layout of the land, which is what I want to talk about for the next portion of this. How Kanto is designed and looked. Now, if you look at it, it's a very big landmass with an island or two set to the side, which also makes it where it was very, very easy to walk around most of the time. Now, yeah, you had certain puzzles and caves and stuff that you had to walk through, but it was a very pleasant scenery for the original release, a great redesign for the remakes, and another great redesign for the other remakes, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I really like the subtle details in the remakes that make the town look more lived in than the originals, and make it look more as an actual town than just a place with a few buildings. And also on this, we're going to talk about the story, or really kind of the lack thereof. This was the first generation, so the whole concept of it was just to catch all 151 Pokemon and defeat all 8 gym leaders, the Elite Four, and become champion. And yes, sometimes there was Team Rocket thrown in, doing some disjointed things that really were just to make the big reveal that Giovanni, the 8th gym leader, is the head of Team Rocket. Now that was kind of cool, but other than that, compared to older generations too, or newer generations, it really didn't have that much of a story, which I'll give it a little bit of a pass because it's the first game and because it's remakes of the first game, but I will say it's kind of disappointing, and I wish that they could do Kanto remakes that actually have a very different story, almost like how the manga is. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is Pokemon that you encounter. These are the classic Pokemon that anybody would think of, including your parents and anything, when they think of Pokemon. They have some very designs to Rattata, to some very out there designs like Muck, to some very brilliant designs like my newly found love for Electabuzz. Now, we can move on to the evil team, which I mentioned earlier. Team Rocket was a very okay-ish team to me. I remember as a kid they were a lot more impactful, but I think it was due to the anime. But other than that, I will say it does feel that all their actions in this game was very disjointed. I wish that they could have more of a role to play in the game. Alright, and next we'll talk about the gym leaders. I did really enjoy every gym leader on my recent playthrough of Pokemon Red, as well as my playthroughs of Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. But I will say there is one that always stands out to me, and is my favorite gym battle, is Lieutenant Surge. I actually do like the puzzle beforehand, and I do like his attitude and the Pokemon that he carries. It can be a very challenging to very easy matchup depending on who you chose as your starter and who you set up on your team. I remember being a little kid playing this and having both a Nidoking and Nidoqueen on my team in yellow that was able to just decimate Lieutenant Surge. And I also remember in my recent playthrough in red having trouble, even though I chose Charmander, on being able to beat an electric gym leader. Next up, we're going to talk about the Elite Four and the champion. Now, I do believe it was a cool twist that your rival is the champion, but you'll notice this throughout the rest of the series that I really don't feel that the Elite Four is that impactful on the story unless they're directly involved. And as I said earlier, with the first generation having it's kind of where the Elite Four kind of just flies over your head. The only one that I distinctly remember is Bruno, as well as Lance. Bruno I remember because of the anime, while Lance I remember because of Pokemon Silver and Gold and Crystal. Other than that, I could barely remember Lorelei and Agatha, but I do recall the champion battle being amazing. So now I'm going to talk about some downsides to this generation. Like I said, the lack of story is one major thing for me. Now I know that I'm going to get bashed on this, people yelling at me saying, oh, you keep talking about lack of story, but this, and this happens. Yes, there is a lot of things that happen, but again, all the things that happen, in my opinion, feel very disjointed and just kind of a random happenstance. So, another issue that I feel is the use of HMs, which, up until recently, has always kind of been an issue in the games. But this one is the most abusive, in my opinion. And that is because up until I recently started playing Pokemon seriously, I was never able to beat the Gen 1 games as a kid because of the placement of the HM Surf, as well as the Golden Teeth to basically make you not get strength. So two of the major HMs that help you carry out throughout the story was nearly impossible for somebody of my original age, and even recently of me now, getting said HMs to complete the game. In my red playthrough, I actually had to pull up a map to take the best steps to find the way to get the HM and beat the game. Without that, I would probably still be playing red version. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it's easy. You can go ahead and just do it. I've been doing it for years. But remember, coming from a 5-year-old kid or coming from somebody that hasn't played a Gen 1 game in over 10 years, it is very hard to remember. So overall, I give this a 7 out of 10. Now, I know that I did say there is some glaring issues to the thing, but there's also great memories. And I honestly would love to have a vacation home in the Kanto region. I will pick what region I would love to live in and what regions I won't in the rest of the series, but for right now, I feel like a vacation home would fit well in Kanto. So next week on Saturday will be Johto, which will probably be a longer video considering how much I've played the Johto region. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this series. I also hope you guys can come back for more and like and comment and subscribe. And I also hope that you guys could pass this video around, and I hope you guys are having a fun and safe time at this very strange time we are living in. So have a great day, guys, and remember, we're all champions on the inside.
Pokémon, la pesca, Pokémon, love it, love it, love it.